And while it's the biggest push towards uniformity and codification of personal laws by the first non-BJP ruled state, Tamil Nadu has set up a panel to review personal laws as per the mandate set up by Sushil Modi-led Parliamentary Standing Committee.
Now remember, this comes at a time when the chorus for a uniform civil code is intensifying. Times Now is the only channel with the inside track of Tamil Nadu's way forward to reform and make personal laws more gender just. First, we speak to the chief of the panel, a retired High Court judge. Listen in.
That is an elaborate exercise, sir.
Yeah, so by when will you be
very elaborate exercise. It may take some time, sir. We are at it.
Yeah, but whenever
they also want to look into the rituals also.
Yeah, what they want?
Some rituals also, no.
Yeah.
Some rituals, you know, that there are local laws, state laws are there, central laws are there. Therefore, there is an elaborate exercise. We are at it, sir.
Okay. So you are heading the committee. So Tamil Nadu has also formed a committee.
Yes, sir.
Let me quickly go across to Harish and Madhav joining us live on the broadcast. Harish, to you first, a first such non-BJP ruled state having indicated the very idea of perhaps showing inclination towards the Uniform Civil Code, a debate that is making headlines day in and out these days. What more can you tell us, the latest?
Yes, in fact, it's coming at a very crucial time when the central government is all set to refer the matter to the Law Commission of India also regarding the feasibility of implementing a uniform civil code for the entire country. At such a moment, Tamil Nadu has now become the first non-BJP state to form a committee to review personal laws on, and why is it important? It's important because it's on a direction by the Sushil Modi committee, which has identified review of personal laws for a detailed examination and seeks to hold a wider consultation on the subject. And why is it important? The terms of reference has as a stamp of implementing a UCC across the country. Let me read out one of a few terms of references framed by the Sushil Modi committee. Number 1, conflict between personal laws and fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. Number 2, making the personal laws gender just. Then codification of all personal laws for removing ambiguity in the interpretation and application. Number 4, protecting couples having interreligion or intercaste marriages, sensitizing society on codification of personal laws with best practice evolved in these personal laws. So it's a very, very important development as far as the debate on the Uniform Civil Code is concerned. And as I said earlier, it's coming at a time when the center and in fact even the Home Minister Amit Shah, while speaking to Times Now at our conclave, has said that we may even allow the states to implement the UCC first rather than bringing in a national law. So remember, all this is coming at a time when the center is actively considering implementing of the Uniform Civil Code and is all set to refer the matter to the Law Commission of India.
That's right. But also when it was introduced in the Rajya Sabha, Madhav, the DMK has said that this is a move that will disintegrate the country. It will hurt the diverse culture of the country. Interestingly, now Tamil Nadu also mulling its own version of Uniform Civil Code.
Well, it is a little more complicated than that. I think simplifying it by calling it Tamil Nadu's version of Uniform Civil Code would in fact be beyond the scope of what has been mandated. Remember, there is a parliamentary committee which looks into issues pertaining to personnel, public grievances and law and justice. And it is this parliamentary committee that has written to the various state governments to give their opinion. And the modalities of that include, in fact, the state government forming this particular panel, which is headed now by a retired High Court justice who Harish has spoken to. And in fact, fact is now breaking the story, because this is perhaps the first opposition state that has actually followed this modality. Remember that in principle, reforming personal laws is something that has been spoken about for a long time, but actually implementing it on ground, for the first time we are seeing any of the opposition states actually taking any action on that. And the first and the most important aspect is where these personal laws come into conflict with fundamental rights, which are basically which have enshrined in themselves the concept of equality. And if these personal laws are in conflict with them, how do they get resolved? Point number one. Point number two, with the Home Minister rightly mentioning that it would perhaps be the states who would in fact be forming these laws. Remember, states such as Goa already have UCC in place. Other states such as Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka have spoken about how they want to go ahead and actually reform these personal laws, to consider bringing in the UCC. States such as Uttarakhand have already formed panels to do that. In light of that, Tamil Nadu becoming perhaps the first state to implement such a move on ground, and therefore it becomes extremely important, because while states do have the jurisdiction, they do have a law and order under their own jurisdiction.
A first such non-BJP ruled state, Madhav, that has gone ahead with the big decision to start with the entire process by first forming a panel. Whether or not it leads to the big decision remains to be seen, of course, but there is a spanner in the works by Congress's ally DMK, like Pratibha was also pointing out. While they've set up the panel to review personal laws, they say it is not paving the path for uniform civil code. Listen in.
I'm really surprised by the wrong interpretation of the committee for which it has been formed. Actually, I'm a part of the standing committee. Yes. The standing committee for law and justice. We wanted the stakeholders' input to improvise the personal laws. I don't think so. This formation of Tamil Nadu committee has got anything to do with the uniform civil code or our decision to get inputs to improvise the personal laws.
So, Meghna also joining us on the broadcast. Meghna, the DMK leader saying this is the wrong interpretation of the panel being set up. It's not actually uniform civil code. The opposition leaders have in fact been criticizing the uniform civil code, even though the BJP has made it clear, including Amit Shah, who made it clear that uniform civil code is going to be brought in the country.
Well, absolutely. And let's not forget, these are two separate issues. One is the reforming of the personal laws, which are being codified now to make it more gender just, as the DMK calls it. On the other hand, you have the big push which is there for uniformity, for complete uniformity of the civil code, which is the push by the BJP. There are already petitions which are seeking them. And remember, who are the ones who are leading these petitions? In many of the cases, it is Muslim women activists themselves who say that several laws such as the inheritance law is unfair to us. How can we be denied our fundamental right to equality in the name of a personal law? But let's also show you state by state which exactly are the states who have already started taking the steps towards at least some form of uniformity, if not complete equality. Well, the first state that we are going to be showing for you, one after the other, we are going to be showing all of them for you. This is not the same graphics. We are going to show you the state-wise graphics, which is going to show to you which are the states. Remember, as we were discussing, Tamil Nadu is the first non-BJP state which has actually taken a step towards at least forming this panel. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Madhya Pradesh, he has already set up a panel to implement UCC and to set it up and to start drafting it. The next state which we are going to show you is that of Pushkar Singh Dhami's Uttarakhand. There's already an expert panel which has been set up to prepare the draft for a UCC as mandated by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. The third state, again, no surprises there, Karnataka, another BJP-run state under Basavaraj Bommai. The government there is mulling how to implement the UCC, and the Chief Minister himself has made it public. Then there's Gujarat, of course. Bhupinder Patel has cleared the proposal to constitute this expert panel. So there are several such steps are being taken, but so far all of these have been BJP-ruled state. Tamil Nadu, under Stalin, MK Stalin is the first non-BJP state to actually set up this expert panel to review personal laws. DMK is making it very clear, we are not taking a step towards UCC. Ideologically, we still oppose and reject uniform civil code, but they are saying that we are ready to at least review the personal laws. What's going to be the end of it? I believe we have a very interesting reaction also coming in by Sushil Modi. Over to you.
That's right.